What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. So check this out. Found this article right here on the Hollywood Reporter. Thought it was a really interesting read. We talk a lot about DEI and how basically Hollywood is getting ruined by DEI, by ESG, about all of these little three-letter acronyms for crappy woke films and woke entertainment, And it seems like Hollywood may start to be finally catching on with this stuff because they don't see any value in keeping these DEI executives around. As you can read on this headline by the Hollywood Reporter, after a mass exodus of diversity execs, what's next? Insiders worried that the departure of multiple DEI executives signaled the unraveling of endeavors Hollywood companies trumpeted in the wake of the 2020 protests for racial justice. But gains are still being made. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Yeah. So look, there has been a reckoning. You see, all of these DEI executives are losing their job. I already discussed Latondra Newton, one of the executives with Disney. I'll go ahead and link that video above if you didn't see that. We talked about her. Listen, these studios are losing money. All of these studios, these streaming services, they're all losing money. Every week, it seems like we're hearing another story about another studio or another streaming service that just lost millions or even billions of dollars. Mostly streaming stuff, okay? These companies have been burning up their money on woke, filling up their DEI departments. But hey, look, it's getting serious now. How does Mordo put it?
The bill comes due.
So yeah, let's go ahead and read and see what's going on with these guys because they all losing their jobs and they don't seem too happy about it. Weeks after multiple top diversity executives departed their posts, a group of California lawmakers put pressure on the Hollywood companies that reap a combined $1.65 billion in tax credits from the state. One executive removal could be a fluke, but four more, said Senator Lola Smallwood at a July 13 press conference from the California Legislative Black Caucus. This is a troubling pattern. No, look, Lola, what's a troubling pattern is you got writers on strike, right? You got actors on strike. Everybody's out there on strike, begging for more money. Pay me, pay me. Everybody's begging for money. You got box office bombs left and right. Like I said, you got streaming services and studios. Everybody is losing money. Play time is over. We can no longer afford to keep pumping money into DEI nonsense, okay? It said it's a sentiment many in the DEI sphere share. Yeah, the DEI sphere needs to share, hey, if you're not doing anything to bring money to the company at a time that the company is losing money, guess what? You're the first one out the door. That's just the way it goes. That's just straight up business. I don't understand what this chick is talking about. Amid ongoing merger-induced reorganizations and layoffs and the long tail of COVID economy, 2 union strikes, general cost-cutting, the Hollywood Reporter talked to a dozen individuals working in and adjacent to the DEI space who expressed worry that the recent high-level departures could signal a larger unraveling of endeavors Hollywood companies trumpeted in the wake of the 2020 murder of George Floyd. Look, and here it is right here, okay? In the wake of the 2020 murder of George Floyd and all the racial protests are going on, the summer of love, okay, the George Floyd race riots, whatever you want to call it. That's when all of these companies rushed out to virtue signal, all right? Or, excuse me, rushed out to do their part for racial justice. Yeah, that's what it is. But I said it from the very beginning. You can't turn virtue signaling into money. It doesn't work that way, all right? People want entertainment. You cannot transform your DEI department into a money-making endeavor. It's not going to work. Apparently, all of these cats thought that either you could turn DEI into money some way or another, or they thought that, okay, Disney's making enough money, or all of these other companies are just making enough money, and the good times will roll forever. They're making a ton of money. They can afford to just, throw something at the DEI department. Or maybe they thought that these companies were really about that DEI life. Maybe they thought that they were all about that diversity. Well, clearly, that is not the case. Of the Hollywood companies that once touted their diversity initiatives, but now find themselves with lean departments or without leaders, one individual evokes Brian Cox's character on HBO's Succession. To paraphrase Logan Roy, these are not serious people. And the biggest issue isn't their racism, it's their incompetence. I mean, here's the thing about it. They're talking about some incompetence of some other cats. Look, this was always the promise of all of this DEI crap that they kept pushing out there. See, the argument was that the people that they're elevating into these positions and they keep putting into these positions, it's not that these people weren't talented and don't have an idea of what they're doing. Oh, it's just that they've never been given the opportunity. We've never given these people opportunities. They've never had a chance. But look, put them in those positions and watch them flourish. Watch them do a great job. Watch them explode and make all kinds of money for the company. That was the promise of all of this DEI crap. And then everybody would say, yeah, DEI is the way to go. Still, insiders note that while DEI efforts are often the first line item to be cut in the times of studio austerity, recent hard-won gains will be difficult to reverse in totality. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, notes one current executive working in DEI. Yeah, and again, this is the problem. The studio is under a hard point right now. They gotta make money. They gotta make money, and you're not making the money. This department doesn't make money. So why are we keeping it around? You gotta be the first to go, as they said. When the problems get tough, when it's time to cut some jobs, yeah, DEI. Hey, look, this doesn't make money. It's, I guess you could call it like employee goodwill, if anything. But DEI stuff doesn't make money. It certainly doesn't make money in Hollywood. So when you try to push all of this stuff out there, especially when you try to push it through the content, you really start to lose money. And I guarantee you, a lot of these jokers in these DEI departments, that's what they were saying. Oh, we got to put more diverse content. We have to have more diversity in the content. But you see, that's why it fails, guys. That's why it fails, because your focal point is diversity, not entertainment. You're not focused on entertaining crowds. You're focused on making sure that Ariel is black, you know? Like, yeah, we need a race swapped Ariel. We need race swaps in this. We need race swaps in that. We see the race swap coming with Snow White. That's what the focal point is. The focal point becomes diversity, and then you lose everything else because you're not interested in telling a unique, interesting story. You're just worried about the check boxes. Hey, how many boxes can we check on this thing? You know, check, 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 check. Or what you'll do is you'll hire some woke activists to write the material, and that really messes it all up. You know, or you'll get an actress or an actor that has very strong political opinions and political leanings about their sexuality or whatever, and you'll have them get out there and spew stuff all over Twitter and all over the internet. And yeah, you know, we're all about that diversity, and you'll back that person's play, not realizing you're absolutely destroying your entire franchise, whatever you're trying to do. You're absolutely assuring that you're not going to make any money. That's the reason why Barbie hid all of the woke stuff. And they made a ton of money off of it because they hid the woke stuff. Because they knew, oh man, if we put all of that crap in the trailer, it's a dead duck. It's not going to make any money. And that's what these guys don't understand. These DEI departments, they don't get it. They think that, yeah, man, we achieved diversity. There we go. No, there the money goes out the door. You're not going to make any. Because look at all of these box office bombs and flops that have been coming lately out of Marvel, out of Lucasfilm, out of Disney in general. And it's not just Disney, it's a lot of these other companies. Again, they don't understand the bottom line. Yeah, so let's see who's gone out of these folks. Now, we already know about Latondra Newton. We talked about her. She exited her role after 6 years in the post. A week later, Vernā Myers, Netflix's head of inclusion strategy and the first person to serve in that position, said she would be stepping down after 5 years. Then we had Karen Horne, who led Warner Brothers Discovery's diversity, equity, and inclusion for North America. She was leaving the company amid post-merger restructurings. And then a few hours later, man, I mean, this stuff was just coming within the hours, right? We got Jeanell English would leave the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences after joining in 2020 and less than a year after being named to the newly created post of Executive VP Impact and Inclusion. Yeah, these guys had to get up out of there. They weren't making any money. They weren't doing anything for these individual companies. If they were, think about it. If these people were vital to the company at a time where the company is losing money hand over fist, do you think they would be walking out the door? Do you think they would be leaving? And then we had this BBC head of creative diversity, Joanna Baye. She stepped down less than a year and a half into the role. While the reasons behind these exits are unclear, executives in DEI positions are notably prone to burnout. People expect you to come into a company and part the waters, says one top executive. Sometimes you forget to put on your own oxygen mask. Yeah, I'm gonna call this an excuse. Okay, prone to burnout. Look, this is an executive position. All right, if you're an executive in any company at all, you got to come in and you got to hit the ground running. You don't have time to kind of just walk your way through this. Yeah, you got to kind of come in and part the water sometime, right? They're paying you big money to do a job and you got to step in and do it. You listen, if you ever get hired as some sort of a diversity hire and they gave you a little bit of love and say, all right, we're going to just elevate you to the spot. Look, you got to come in hitting the ground running, okay? You got to hurry up and make an impact, all right? Because they're looking at you. They're looking at you like, ah, shit, man, we just hired this person on the basis of skin color. We got to make sure that this person knows what they're doing. You got to strike fast and you got to strike quick, All right, you don't have time to kind of feel your way out or whatever. You got to know what you're doing immediately. You got to have projects in the pipeline. You got to say, yeah, this is how we're going to be making money for the company, or this is how I'm going to improve employee morale, or whatever the case may be. Because especially when you're talking about Hollywood right now and the position that Hollywood is in, and everybody's just bleeding money, the boss is going to be coming in there real quick like, hey, where's the money? Who's making money in here? Which one of y'all is actually making money? I need to know. All right, because everybody else is going to be about, I'm serious. If you are a position, an executive especially, and you're in a position where you're not making any money for a company that's losing money hand over fist, it's time to get your ass up out of here. I'm sorry. That's just the way that it is. Nobody got time for this. You got to come out there and show what you can do for this company. You got to get us out of this hot water that we found ourselves in. Sheesh. Oh, we're prone to burnout. Yeah, you can leave. All right, get up out. Bye. For her part, English noted the decision to leave was hers. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Despite successes, this work has not been easy. These paths are often lonely uphill battles, English wrote on Instagram. Leaders in these positions need the support, love, and advocacy while they are in these roles, not only when their departure makes headlines. What the hell? Man, have you ever heard a bigger crock of shit in your life? Oh my God. Look, you are an executive, lady. You are the leader. If anything, your subordinates would come to you for the love, the support, and the advocacy. That's what they coming to you for, because that's leadership. Can you imagine Bob Iger or David Zaslav or any of these other big-time executives? Say what you want about them, okay? You may not like them, but have you ever heard these cats saying anything about, well, you know, I don't get enough love and advocacy in my role. You know, I'm just not feeling the love from my people, okay? You're an executive. Look, this is what your family is for, okay? This is what families and spouses is for. But a lot of these chicks don't get married and then they end up, I'm not getting the love that I need from my family because they've been career climbing, you know? So they don't get the love from a spouse or a husband or children because they don't have one, okay? And that's the problem. Look, I'm not shitting on anybody. You made a decision, but yeah, that's what this stuff comes from. You know, you get this stuff from your family, from your support system behind the scenes. At the job, you might get a pat on the back and a hail fellow, well met, all that kind of crap. But you're not going to get like the love that this person is talking about. Oh, they only give us those loves when we depart and the departure makes headlines. Well, yeah. And honestly, if you don't have that real strong support system in place as an executive, you probably need to ask yourself if I even need to take this position. This might not be a position for me right now because it's going to be hell when I get over there. All right. If they're hiring me to be an executive, it's not going to be a walk in the park. In the wake of these exits, voids remain at some companies. Disney has promised a replacement for Newton, and Warner Brothers said that a search is underway for Horne's successor. English's work will be continued by Kendra Carter, the 3-year Academy vet who was elevated to Senior VP, Impact and Global Talent Development. Allison Kumar, Manager of Representation, Inclusion, and Equity. At Netflix, Wade Davis will take over from Myers. If CFOs or CEOs or COOs left in this aggregation, what would the response be? Well, see, the thing is I know kind of somewhat what a CFO or a CEO or a COO does, you know, at least in a small part. I have no idea what a chief diversity officer does. I have no idea. Okay. These cats, they're getting away with money. These are made up positions as far as I'm concerned. They've given people busy work. They're calling them an executive and then they're tapping out. They're like, I can't do the job. This is kind of funny. Sharoni Little, who has worked for 3 decades as an outside diversity and inclusion business consultant via her strategist company. When we think about these exits, it begs the question, are these positions and the work dispensable? I mean, yeah. I think the question is being answered right now. Okay. I think the question is being answered right now. Are these dispensable jobs? Can we just like, we don't really need this. Okay. Can't something like this be handled like under maybe HR or some other department? You know what? Hold on. Let's check something out. So check this out. This is Indeed.com, okay? Indeed.com, and they answer this question. What is a chief diversity officer? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know. So let's learn this together. A chief diversity officer is an experienced business executive or leader who creates inclusion strategies for a company or school. They make sure their organization has a welcoming work or study environment for people of all genders, races, cultures, ages, and abilities. They encourage and support diversity through company culture, staff training, workplace activities, and recruitment. Chief diversity officers can work for government agencies, educational institutions, nonprofits, corporations, and foundations or charities. All right, so what does a chief diversity officer do? Chief diversity officers work with managers and employees across all departments in an organization to establish consistent inclusion initiatives. They also ensure the company follows equal employment. This sounds like something HR could do. I'm just be real with you, okay? Affirmation, action, and other regulations of chief diversity officers' job duties might include. All right, so here we go. Recruiting diverse employees or students. That sounds like HR. Identifying areas of an organization that lack diversity. Designing and organizing diversity training for employees. What? In creating organization-wide diversity and inclusion plans. Assessing the efficacy of diversity and inclusion programs. Hosting multicultural events. Wow. Receiving and addressing employee concerns related to discrimination. Again, that's HR, man. Representing the organization to the community, regulatory agencies, and diversity groups. Collecting data on various demographics and their representation at the company or school. Advising superiors about diversity issues and regulations. And then they report to the president, chief executive officer, COO, human resources officers. Okay, so all of this can, in my opinion, go right up under human resources. I don't see any reason why they have to have a specific role for this job. All of this can go under human resources. To be very honest with you, again, this is a made-up position. This is a made-up position, in my opinion. Look, first of all, this one right here, this is straight up HR, okay? That's what HR's job is. So I don't see any reason that you got to delegate that to somebody else. Identifying areas of this right here. This is employee feedback. You know, this is your employees talking to middle management saying, hey, we could use a little bit more diversity in my department. And then they get that information to HR. Your manager gets that information to HR. And then that's that. All right. Designing and organizing diversity training for employees. That's your training department. Your training department can handle that. Why do you need a chief diversity officer to deal with that? Get your training department on it. Again, they can work with HR. A lot of this is just going to be HR. Creating organizational-wide diversity and inclusion plans. I would also kick that right over to honestly, here's what I would do. Here's what you could do with this one. You could either work that through HR, all right, and your employee feedback. That's one way that you could do that. You could come up with like these cultural groups, right? So, for instance, if you got a group of people that says, hey, we feel like, we want to bring some awareness to a particular issue or whatever for, diversity and inclusion. You can let employees handle that. You don't need to actually hire anybody to do that. All right. You let your little cultural groups. There's a lot of companies out there that have these little pockets of cultural groups. Some of y'all may work for a company like that. Just little small cultural groups. Hey, it's like, we go out there, we put on like something for, Cinco de Mayo or whatever. Or we put on something for Juneteenth or whatever. You got groups that'll do stuff like that in your business. You don't need to hire anybody to do this crap, especially in Hollywood. Assessing the efficacy of diversity and inclusion programs. Again, that could be your cultural groups. Okay. That could be HR. That could be your middle management, your employee feedback. Okay. That's all of that crap. Hosting multicultural events. Again, cultural groups. Okay. You don't need a CDO or a chief diversity officer for any of this crap. Receiving and addressing employee concerns. Again, that's HR related to discrimination. That's straight up HR. Representing the organization to the community. Regulatory agencies and diversity groups. Again, that's your cultural groups. Okay. Get your little culture groups. Hey, y'all want to put something together? Have at it. Don't bother us about it. All right. You can use conference room number 6 for all of your little meetings or whatever. Off the clock, of course. You ain't doing this on my dime. But yeah, you can do all of that kind of stuff if you want to, and you can put our name on it. All right. Just make sure it ain't stupid and it's going to embarrass us or whatever. That's all you got to do. Collecting data on various demographics and the representation at the company. Again, that's HR. Advising superiors about diversity issues. Again, HR. All of this stuff is HR. Okay. Every last one of these is HR, or again, you could get some sort of a cultural, group at your, employer, and that's it. Okay. That's the problem. They hire people and they're paying them major salaries to do something that could just easily be folded into a whole bunch of other departments that actually have real value to the business. There's no reason to have this. And that's, again, why all of these people are losing their jobs in Hollywood, because there's no reason for them to be there. And all they're doing is trying to enter into the entertainment part of it. Hey, you got to give us some more diverse this and that. All right. Race swap this person, hire this woke activist to write a story for us. And then that just completely ruins everything. You're losing all kinds of money. Hollywood says, you know what? Enough is enough. Okay. The bill comes due. We got to start paying our bills. Anyway, folks, what do y'all think about this situation? I absolutely think that these cats, they had no business being up at these jobs in the first place, okay? All of these ladies, you know, hey, I love my black sisters, but y'all just didn't have any reason to be at these particular companies. You know, again, Hollywood didn't need you. They didn't need you. What they need are writers, actors, and directors, and people that know how to, you know, and then the executives that really mean something when it comes to entertainment. All right, because that's where Hollywood has fallen completely by the wayside, is with the entertainment. Go back and get some entertainers, people that understand entertainment and don't care about woke and diversity and all of that crap. And then Hollywood will get itself back on track. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Go ahead, jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.